Hello ladies and gentlemen, remember me? Yeah, I'm Paul Gibson, I do the occasional vlog. I'm so sorry that it's taken me, I think it's been now about a month since I've done one of these. Life has just been busy, so I can only apologise for that. What have I been up to? Lots of work, lots of lessons been going really well. Managed to get away for a week with Jane and Arthur. We went to Butlins Tots Week last weekend in Skegness, which despite the pretty much raining all day, every day, we had a great time, thank you very much. But you don't want to hear about what I've been up to in my personal life, you want to hear about golf. So what has been happening? Well, the big news, which is very prevalent today, which is Monday, I suppose, is Gary Woodland winning the US Open. Yep, that's already, we've had 3 majors this year already, which has absolutely flown by. And so it was kind of good to see somebody different up at the top there, so congratulations to Gary Woodland. And the competition overall, I mean, it's, as I said, it's third one already. I've said in the past that all the majors are now sort of truncated into a very short space of time, which is not my favourite thing. Okay, but you know, the other thing I struggled with this one, and it's nothing we can do about it. It's over on the west coast of America, and Pebble Beach is over in California. So with a 3-hour time delay, 8-hour time delay, the leaders teed off at sort of 11:15, and me, I don't know about you guys, but sort of 11:15, I'm nearly asleep nowadays. So I didn't get to watch quite as much as I would have liked, but looking and reading the reports, it sounds as though Justin Rose just didn't quite have his A game, which was a bit of a shame, really. It was his tee to green that let him down. On the greens, he was absolutely brilliant. But normally, it's more, I'd say it's probably more the other way around. He's a better driver, iron player than he is with his short game. But yeah, a bit of a shame for him. Rory never quite got it going, I don't think. You know, he was always there or thereabouts. And fair play to Brooks Koepka. I really struggle with that name. Brooks Koepka, who again put up a great effort in trying to defend his title. I backed 4 players, as I always do. Tommy Fleetwood didn't do so well this time, unfortunately. I thought Jordan Spieth might do quite well because his game has been coming back, but he had a bit of a should we say, disagreement with his caddy on I think it was the first day. Go online, have a look and see if you can find that. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that Jordan Spieth wasn't happy with how his caddy clubbed him. But as I always say, who is it that hits a shot? Anyway, so I backed Fleetwood, I backed Spieth. I backed Danny Willett because I thought he might be doing something decent. He's on the verge of getting back his game back really well. And a bit of a charge in that third round. He almost got into contention and then just couldn't quite. But I think somebody like Danny Willett and Jordan Spieth, I do think they're on the way back. So keep an eye on them for the next few tournaments. And my final one that I backed, which I did, I backed him in the PGA as well, I think it was, I'm trying to remember now, was Xander Schauffele, American with a lot of talent, and he actually didn't let me down this time. I think it was the PGA that he ended up dropping something like 4 shots in the last 5 holes to drop out of the places, or maybe that was in the Masters, I can't remember now. Like I say, they're all truncated, so I'm not sure. So yeah, I did okay with him. So yeah, 3 out of the 4 majors done, which means only 1 left. I know the year goes by quickly, but this is ridiculous. So next month we have the Open over in Ireland, Royal Portrush. I'll go into a little bit more details about that when it comes a little bit closer. Just a final note on the US Open. I thought for once that the USGA, which is the Royal and Ancient equivalent over in America, actually got the course set up pretty well. I know as there always seems to be at the minute, certainly every US Open, you know, they make a big thing of the rough. You know, you can always guarantee that there's one of the touring pros that chucks the ball into the rough and then spends about 5 minutes trying to look for it, kind of thing. And it happens every time, and it's like, come on, guys, you hit it on the fairway. The fairways were generous enough. If you hit them wild, then fair enough, you're going to struggle. The course wasn't particularly long. It was, I think, about 7,000 yards. So it lends itself to course management. You know, you saw a lot of Gary Woodland and not hitting drivers. You know, lots of irons off tees and things like that. So it was more of a strategic course, which I liked. And I thought the USGA, they avoided any sort of controversies. Unlike the last couple of years, there was no rule infringements. There was no daft putting greens where they had, I think it was at Shinnecock, wasn't it, where they were watering the greens halfway through the round just to try and soften them up a bit. So there was none of that. So well done to the USGA for getting, in my opinion, something pretty right there. So moving on. the next bit is it's something that I want to sort of talk to you about, and I don't know how prevalent it is for some of the members at Hornsey, but I know I've got a lot of other watchers from other clubs, which this one might apply to. And this the thought for this vlog came up when we were in Portugal. Now in Portugal there are a lot of greens that are sort of raised, okay, a lot of upturned saucers that have got banks in there. And what I wanted to sort of talk to you about is about how to almost approach them shots. I maybe should be doing this at Hornsey where I've got a representation to show you, so I'll do my best to do it here. Okay, but what I wanted to sort of talk to you about is the angle that the ball comes into a raised green at. So you've got a couple of choices. You can either fly the ball all the way onto the green and let it bounce and roll out. You can either try and pitch it into the bank, okay, to get it to take all the sting out of it, so it just rolls out from there, or you can try and pitch it short of the bank and let it run up, okay? Now, there's a couple of things with each of them. My preferred method always, I think, if the situation allows it, would be to fly the ball on the green, okay? When a ball hits the green, it's going to be so much more predictable than if it lands short of the green. It might land short of the green in a soft spot and not go anywhere. It might kick right, might kick left, might kick on, who knows? So pitching it onto the green would always be my first option. All right. So if you can't do that, obviously it depends on where the flag is, how much room you've got to play with, and things like that. So keep that one in mind. But that would always be option number one. Okay. Option number two. Option number two is kind of a joint, really. It depends on confidence levels sometimes. If you're pitching it into a bank, guys. So say you've got this sort of a bank here, and your ball comes in, and it comes in at this angle here. What's going to happen? Ball's going to bounce and it's going to come back in exactly the same way. Because if we look, that's 90 degrees there, isn't it? Okay, so it's going to come up and it's not going to get onto the green. So if you are thinking about playing into a bank, just have a think and think to yourself, well, hang on a second. If it goes more than 90 degrees, okay, so we've got a more than 90 degree angle there, it's going to hit the bank and roll back down. So you've got to make sure that when you're going into this bank, that you are not coming in at a 90 degree angle. It's got to be less than that, hasn't it? Okay, if we think about it, if a ball comes in at this angle here, it's going to bounce. That's when it's going to take all the sting out of it, and it's going to pop up and go onto the green. Again, though, it's very, very hard to judge. Very hard to judge to do that, okay? So you've almost got to try and rely on getting this angle right. Very hard to do. So maybe actually, now I'm sort of going back on myself here, maybe that would be the third option, to try and sting it into the bank. If you've got room in front, where a bounce is going to be a little bit more predictable, perhaps, again, always depending on where your pin placement is. There's your bank, here's your green over here, somewhere ball comes in, lands there, miss the bank out altogether if you've not had much practice at it. As I said, that I don't think is... I'm just trying to think. There's a few holes at Hornsey where you may take it into account. One that springs to mind maybe would be something like the back of the 6th or the 7th even. Again, depending on where the pin is. But really, guys, what you don't want to be doing is hitting the ball so it comes in at a 90 degree angle to that bank. It's always got to be slightly less than that. It's got to hit and jump up, all right? Like I say, the reason I say that and the reason why I've done this in this vlog is that in Portugal it was quite prevalent that a lot of people pitched it into the bank and boom, it stayed right into the bank because they were going in with too much of a lofted club. You've got to go with a lot lower lofted club to reduce that angle that it's going to make contact with the ground at. So go out, find some banks to hit the ball into. It doesn't have to be around the green, just have to find a bank to hit the ball into and see how it reacts. But play around with it, use some different clubs, okay? And yeah, let me know how it goes. I always like to get feedback from you guys. So yeah, play some of the shots, see what happens, and let me know. So I'm going to move on now. Third bit of this, it's just a reminder really. I mentioned in my last vlog, which I remember was lovely. I was sat outside. It was lovely weather. At the minute I'm just looking outside and it's a little bit grey and overcast, but it is still quite warm. It seems a long time ago that I did that vlog, which it was. But I just wanted to remind you that I have my Masters trip next year. If you have enjoyed watching the US Open and you want to watch some of them top golfers play, because there'll be a lot of them in that field that you will see at the Masters. There may be, as I mentioned before, possibly, I don't think it will because he's talked about playing for another 10 years, but Tiger Woods is going to be there. He's definitely going to be there, so you might not get many chances left to see him. Just a very, very quick recap on what happens. We fly out on the Tuesday, play golf on the Wednesday in and around Colombia. We then go to the Masters on the Thursday, the first round. After that, we drive over to the west coast, Kiowa Island, and we play 3 courses there, including the Ocean course, which is where Rory McIlroy won his PGA, and also where the War on the Shore took place in the Ryder Cup, going back a good few years now. I don't want to dwell on that too much because I've had some good interest in that. There are still places available, but if you want any more information, please let me know and get in touch. I'm always more than happy. So now I'm just glancing up at my camera here, and it's saying that this is 9 minutes 50 seconds. I try and do a 10-minute one. So thank you very much for watching, and I will see you hopefully in and around the golf course. If not, thanks for watching. Bye bye.